What's up, y'all? Xavier Joseph here. Thank you so much for joining me on another video. Today we're going to be tackling the 4 fitness mistakes that I made when starting my journey and how you can avoid those pitfalls as well. So without wasting any more time, let's get right into it. So mistake number 1 was not being able to find the right information and getting really frustrated. So what do I mean by that? Alright, so the internet is a great place to learn a ton of things, but as we all know, the internet is also littered with tons of misinformation. So that being said, you might go to Google and type in, how do I lose weight? How do I build muscle? How many calories should I eat a day? Whatever. And a whole bunch of information is going to pop up. And if you take the first 3 articles that you see there, they're each going to say something contradictory about what you need to do to achieve those results. One article is going to say you need to do nothing but cardio and cut out all your carbs and do very, very light weights, and that's how you're going to lose weight and build muscle. Another one's going to say you need to kind of lower your carbs a little bit, keep your protein high, and lift heavy weight while not doing so much cardio, but just enough to give yourself a good burn. Another one is going to say if you lift anything under 15 to 20 reps, then you are just killing your gains and your whatever, all this other mumbo jumbo stuff. The reason why the fitness industry is a multi-million-dollar, maybe even billion, but I didn't do my research before starting this video, so we're just gonna say multi-million-dollar industry, is because they prey on the confusion of the consumer, of the client. And you can disagree with me in the comments if you really want to, but as someone who's worked at a corporate gym, who runs their own fitness business, who's been a newbie in the fitness industry as a client themselves, I know that I spent a lot of money on crap that I don't need, and I know tons of clients that come to me, tons of friends that come to me, tons of people in general that spend so much money on bad trainers that are really just salesmen, on bad supplements, on all these sorts of stacks and stupid stuff that they just don't need to get fit. But no one has spent a lot of money or a lot of time focusing on stuff they need in the gym and giving it their all, basically. It's all the supplements and the stuff that they say you cannot succeed without. And that is a problem. So how do you get around that? If you're ready to get on a fitness program, go find a reputable fitness brand and follow their information. Only their information. If it's going to be us over at the Academy, you're going to follow the information we provide, the free information we provide here on YouTube, information we provide on social medias, or even our paid information. Follow what we say and stick with that. If you're going to follow other information, follow and stick with that until it no longer fits with what you're trying to accomplish. That is how you have to do it. Maybe it's right, maybe it's wrong, but ping-pong and back and forth throughout all these different people's opinions is not going to help you move forward. And this is something that became a huge problem as I was just starting, is that every time I would find a new bit of information that I thought was better, I would start moving over into that when I hadn't really done the whole program of this other company or whatnot, you know. That amongst the fact that I spent so much money on supplements, I was the kid who would walk into GNC and say, I want to get big and strong, but I don't want to put any fat, yada. I went in there looking for just a protein powder and walked out with like $300 worth of stuff. You know, maybe you're smarter than I was as a kid, but I know there are a lot of people who are just like me who did just that. Which leads me right into my next point, which is the second mistake that really affected me when I first started my fitness journey. That is not sticking to a plan long enough and continuing to change. So, it does not help you to bounce from cut to bulk, to cut to bulk, to trying to do it all at once, to going back to bulk, to, you know what I'm saying? Your body takes time. If you did not get fat or overweight or whatever your situation is in a day, it took you years upon years to build the physique you have, whether you're proud of it or not proud of it. So it's not going to be a day or two or a month to fix this problem. It's going to take a while. Oh, the rest of your life really is how it's going to go. But to start seeing changes that you can really be proud of The industry standard is 90 days. 90 days of good, consistent work will give you your first round of big change. So a lot of the times for me, I would start a fitness plan, be eating a certain way to lose weight, and then all of a sudden I would get afraid that I'm losing too much weight. So I would go into a bulk phase, and then I would do too much bulking and feel like I was getting too fat. Then I would go backwards again. And then I realized someone maybe had said on YouTube somewhere, here's how to burn fat and build muscle at the exact same time, where you don't have to cut carbs, you don't have to do anything, you can eat pizza. You've all heard different people claim that that's a possibility. And it's just your body type and genetics keeping you fat. So let's just keep eating pizza and other garbage. And I would be swayed by all that, again, because I just wasn't knowledgeable or confident enough to stick with something. So it wasn't until I got my own first personal trainer, I finally did stick with something for 90 days. It took me almost a year and a half to finally stick with something for my first 90 days. I got a personal trainer, and he had me, now that I had actual like physical accountability, he had me on a plan, and I knew that I couldn't get off of it, otherwise he would start saying something and he would call me out for not following his plan. So that's kind of how that worked. But being consistent with whatever path you choose, 9 out of 10 of you will need to be dropping weight first. So focus on that goal and how to do that goal appropriately, how to do that without starving yourself, how to do that without spending hours in the gym and sacrificing time with loved ones. Do that in a way that fits with your lifestyle, because there is a way for it to fit with your lifestyle, whatever that is. So really figure that out and stick with it. And when you feel like you've plateaued, that doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong per se. That means it might be just time to change up what you're doing and do a little bit more of it, or do a little bit less of something, or cut back on food for just a little bit, or carb cycle, or what it might mean, a multitude of things. Which is why it sometimes is hard to go about this by yourself. You wouldn't fix a car without any knowledge. You wouldn't fly a plane without any knowledge. You wouldn't do tons of different things. Just insert whatever thing you want right there. You wouldn't do that with some sort of practice, preparation, education, whatever. But for some reason with fitness, we think that we can just get in the gym and start lifting weights and eating good for a couple days and eating a couple salads and stuff, and then just get mad that we're not seeing magnitude of changes, but we have no idea what we're doing. That's not gonna work. I mean, does that click? Does that click? It's just not gonna work if you don't have a plan or know what you're doing. Nothing else in life works like that. So your body and your fitness is not gonna work like that either. The third mistake that I made was dieting way too hard. So in these 90 days, I would put a picture, but I literally don't know where one is. I would have to go through a multitude of years to find these photos. But I literally went from 205 pounds down to 180 in, it was 60 days was my first plan. That is way too much of a drop, and you could see it. My plan itself wasn't wrong. I was doing a very intense like HIIT style type of training. It wasn't wrong or bad training. The problem was instead of following the laid out nutrition plan that I had, I chose to do my own thing, which was basically eat as little as possible, period. Doesn't matter if it's carbs, fat, protein, whatever. I would eat as little as possible in those things, and then not eat for as long as I could, and boom, then I would eat again as little as possible. And that's what I did, and I got results. I went from an extra large to a medium in 2 months. That's not healthy. I didn't have an eating disorder or anything along those lines. I just wanted the results so bad, I went too hard. And I'm lucky I didn't have any other internal repercussions, if you will. But nobody should go that hard. It is not safe to go that hard. It is not necessary to go that hard. Just take your time and do it as it should be, you know? So that was something, is going cold turkey and just dieting way too hard. Most people don't have the willpower to stick with something like that. So they will have to slowly but surely, you know, if you're drinking 3 sodas a day, you know, if you're drinking 3 sodas a day and you're having a big steak at dinner and you're going fast food at lunch, and you're just eating cereals and like waffles and stuff at breakfast. Changing that tomorrow and having egg whites and potatoes, and then having 3 meals of chicken and rice and broccoli, and then having a small steak at night with a baked potato, like changing that like from one day to the next, that's just too much. And then also not doing any of the Cokes and stuff, like that's just not going to work for most people. Your body will go into a literal shock. And regardless of what it'll do to you internally, your mental state will, you're just not going to stick with it. Like, it doesn't matter what it does to you internally. You're not going to actually stick with it for the long term. So it doesn't help you at all. It's just a waste of time. So you would need somebody to assist you, if you didn't already know how to do it yourself, how to slowly make these changes. So where you feel the progress, you already see that maybe you still have 1 soda a day, but you're already losing tons of weight. You see how this is going. You see what just these small changes are making. I have clients who sometimes, just because they're newer to the game and stuff, they haven't incorporated how to make this whole thing work beautifully, consistently all the time. So they'll go a couple days because they're stressed or really busy or whatnot, not training, but they'll still follow their diet plan. Or meal plan, sorry. But they'll still follow their meal plan, and they'll still continue to see changes. It might be smaller changes than what they would have had if they followed the whole thing, but they still see changes, because eating the way you're supposed to honestly has a bigger effect on weight loss than anything. You can pull back on the training a little bit for a short period of time, eat clean, and you'll still look better. So the food is the most important portion, but doing it right so that you can stick with it is literally king. And the 4th mistake that I made when I started was not lifting weights. Like I mentioned earlier, everything that I was doing was purely HIIT. What I was afraid of was that lifting weight and eating more food would affect all the progress I made. So I did it very cautiously. I lifted a little bit heavier, I ate a little bit more, but I just wouldn't commit to go as hardcore as like my trainer wanted. And that was a mistake. Obviously, it's a fixable mistake. That's not the end of the world mistake. But just everybody, especially women, but everybody can get off this, I'm afraid that lifting weights will make me too bulky, then the whole fitness world would be a better place. If somebody could accidentally just become as big as Arnold or C-Bum or Phil Heath or any of these people, if anyone could just accidentally do that, that would be insane, and we would all be super huge and super buff and whatnot. Nobody accidentally falls into incredible success. Anything you want, you're gonna have to work for it. So, that being said, you will not accidentally get too buff. You will not be lifting weights and accidentally start looking, if you're a female, mannish, And even if that was a possibility, let's get to a point where you are so fit you hate yourself, and then we can cut back, I just feel like it's one of those talking points that's become an excuse at this point of why to take it easy or do whatever. But no, I don't care if you are losing weight or bulking up. You should be lifting as heavy weights as you possibly can with correct form and adjustments for whatever goal you have. If I want to lose weight, I'm going to incorporate more supersets and adjust the weights to fit into those supersets. If I want to bulk up, I might sit there and focus a little bit more on just single sets and lifting just as heavy as I can. But either way, there's no point in time when I say, okay, I want to lose weight, so I'm going to drop down. I'm going to lose weight, so I'm going to drop down to my light weights. That's not a thing. That's fake, and you shouldn't do it. So remember, lifting weights. Lift heavy weights. I cannot stress that enough. Well, anyway, y'all, thank you so much. Those are the 4 mistakes that I made when starting my fitness journey. Hopefully there is somebody out there that is just getting on their fitness journey that will see this, find it super helpful, and not make the same mistakes I did. If you guys have any questions, I have my email and the website to my fitness training business called The Academy Performance. We offer pre-built programs, complete online personal training. We have a subscription package specifically geared towards women. We have macro plans. We have just customized workouts themselves. We have everything that you could possibly need to get your fitness journey off on the right foot. So if you're interested in that, go down below. We're also offering a completely free guide to the ultimate shredded six-pack abs. This is a guide we worked on for a long time. It has great information, a sample workouts, it's got nutrition, it's got everything in there, so completely free. I'm not giving you the first 2 pages and then you have to pay for the rest of the pages in the guide. It's completely free. No gimmicks, no nothing. I'm leaving that down below in the show notes. Anyway, y'all, thank you so much for watching the video. Please like and subscribe. That very much helps out new channels like myself. I will see you guys in the next video. Stay fit and stay strong.